match all your socks in perfect
order? Please stop. That's stupid.
That's kind of how it felt when I saved hundreds by switching to Geico.
Okay, you saved hundreds, not 100, yes.
Bounce bullets off the walls, right? Using the ricochet. We try to always put enough depth into the gun. For instance, literally today, I have seen awesome shotgun that has 8 barrels, and it shoots them in the same time. And it has actually I think that players will love our gunplay, especially the way how the guns look and how they feel when you shoot them.
I'm so excited. Yeah. Shotguns, they're my favorite. 8 barrels, even better.
I think also something really cool to add to this is that, as you already touched on it, all of these companies, these gun manufacturers and all that stuff, they actually, a lot of it comes from the actual lore, right? But we're also making sure that, there's a history to everything. That includes the brands and ads that we have in the game. We actually have a whole team dedicated to just that kind of stuff. And again, it sort of is in line with our philosophy to make sure that everything is rooted in the world, has its reason why it is there, has its history. I think that's really sort of the secret ingredient to make a really believable world, that when the player actually goes in, that they have this impression yeah, this place exists, right? This feels alive. And I think that will make just the fact of simply walking through Night City a really, really cool experience.
Also, actually, one of the cool things we also have is we have lots of different melee weapons. And, it starts by, very spontaneous ones. So let's say you find a broken bottle and you just use it, or you find a knife on the ground. And you can use it to fight melee, or you can, as an example, throw it. But you can also specialize in melee weapons. Because as we said earlier, maybe you want to play as a cyber ninja. And of course, as a cyber ninja, there's many different katanas that you can actually also specialize in getting really good at them. And there's even cyberware for melee, like the gorilla fists that can also be used to, be really strong and open doors. But, if you're really strong, you can also hit people with it. But a cool thing is also using your melee weapons together with special cyberware. So as an example, my favorite cyberware that I always like to use is the Sandevistan. And essentially it slows down time for you because your reflexes get boosted. So now you have superhuman reflexes, and the way we show it is of course time slowing down for you as a player. So imagine you have your katana and you just go into a slide and then you can aim and just go through, and it actually feels really cool. You feel like you have super control, but actually you can also see as the receiving end of
I fell asleep. I can't set something up and have IGN wait for an hour for it to come. I just fell asleep. Damn, Wi-Fi internet stopped on me. God damn it. Okay. Oh, Lord, that game is good. What time is it again? I'd fall asleep. What is fucking over the internet?
It goes even further than that, right? If you combine that with, like, for example, the nanowires, but also you can do it from closer up, you can actually breach into like a squad's internal network by hacking directly into the personal links of enemies. And once you're in the squad network, you can actually use what we call daemon software to essentially quick hack the cyberware that is attached to people's bodies, right? So imagine a scenario where, you know, you're a netrunner kind of character, you're sneaking through, but then things get hot, right? So now you find yourself in a combat situation. Luckily, of course, you come prepared. You already foresaw that things might go wrong because you're a skilled netrunner after all. So you already breached into the squad's internal network. Now, these enemies start swarming you, and what do? Of course, you start using your scanner, then you look at these guys and you realize, hey, I breached the security, so I can now upload my virus software into these guys to make them do things that they don't necessarily want. You might hack their cybernetic hand to force them to pull the pin on a grenade they have at their, grenade belt, setting them to a fiery and explosive, but spectacularly looking death. Alternatively, we also have one that you can actually use to basically make enemies finish themselves off, right? They'll shut themselves down. And it's actually really cool because you sort of see them struggling with their hand as well. So it's like it really sells the fantasy of what you're doing, right? And you're basically becoming this cybernetic god as soon as you take over a network. And it really is something that, feels so different from the other play styles that we have. And I really like the sort of level of variety that we offer players when it comes to that. I think that ultimately... and pardon me for being a bit buzzworthy about this, but like this will really make each playthrough very unique to players, right? Not only the way you play it, the way you interact with the world, the way you talk to people, all that kind of stuff. Like if you look at all the little choices that accumulate through the game, no playthrough will basically be like another. And inherently they will also feel very differently depending on what kind of character you want to play. And I guess that would be the less obvious one, because as a netrunner you'll always be sort of having your cyber tech, because otherwise you could not be a netrunner. And then I think I've mentioned before in another video of sorts that I really like our nanowires, which go hand in hand sort of with this net running playstyle. I guess you can see where my personal preferences lie. Don't worry, it does not affect my designs. I try to be balanced. Whereas the regular netrunner can sort of breach into a squad network by sort of taking an enemy out and having an extra option to breach into their squad's network. The nanowires actually allow you to do this from a distance or from a safe spot, right? And they can also be used to slice people into bite-sized pieces. So again, as Philip said much earlier, if I remember correctly, we've been doing this for a bit. There's actually, no playstyle that is sort of meant to be played in a certain way, right? We don't go, okay, the hacker kind of character, he's the stealthy guy, he needs to operate from the shadows, whereas the solo type, he's the one that, just goes out and shoots everyone. No, you can actually still, within these playstyles, choose how you play the kind of character, lethal, non-lethal, stealthy, and non-stealthy, and we just give you the tools in all playstyles to do whatever you want with it, right? So if you want to be a combat netrunner, if you will, that likes to use gunfire and, making people blow themselves up, sure, go do that. But you can also do it in a stealthy approach. It really lies in the player's hands.
So let's say I've got my 8-barrel shotgun. It's my favorite gun. I love it. What can I do to it? Can I customize it? Is it moddable? Are there any options for, really making something special and one of a kind?
So I think we can say that there are like two major ways what you can do, how you can customize your guns. One way is customizing the visuals, and those are different skins and like paint overs, paint jobs that you can have on your gun, just to make sure that, you know, when you're a Cupid, that your rifle is pink or purple, you know, if you really want it. But then there's the second way, how you can customize it. It's a different sort of attachments that you can have. You can have silencers, you know, you can have like a sniper rifle zoom on the gun. You also can boost up the stats of the given weapon. So in that way, you can basically make it more efficient. So you can make it to look the way you want, and you can make it to shoot the way you want.
I think, Miles, you've mentioned this before, that also changes the animation, right? As it progresses, you can change the way it looks as you reload and things like that.
Yeah, so basically the more you use your guns, who figures, the better you become at shooting them, right? You might start as a complete amateur, like I would be with shooting a gun.
Good to know.
Yeah, I'm not a very good shot. And the better you become with it, you know, that actually affects your way of handling a gun. So, you know, your crosshair might become smaller, indicating that your accuracy increases ever so slightly, and that will also sort of influence the way your animation looks like. Your reload speed will be faster and all that stuff. So you actually really get this sense of progression and your character evolving as you play the game. And yeah, I think that's a pretty special sort of experience if you combine it with the way, you know, that you can customize your guns, man, and kind of really have this feeling that, yeah, this is my signature gun, right? And I'm really good with it.
Right, guys, thank you so much. I know there is one thing we haven't talked about from the demo, and that is a little bit more about the gangs. We spoke about the Voodoo Boys a bit, but we haven't even really spoken about the animals. And while I know you guys know everything about cyberpunk, I thought I'd actually throw out to maybe the Godfather himself. So I caught up with Mike Pondsmith at Gamescom to ask him, who are the Voodoo Boys and who are the animals?
Hi, my name is Mike Pondsmith, and I'm the guy who killed your cyberpunk characters. And today I'm going to talk to you about two very important things. I'm going to talk to you about animals, and I'm going to talk to you about the Voodoo Boys. So, let's take the Voodoo Boys. When I created them many, many years ago, I was looking at kind of a really interesting idea, which is what we would now call cultural appropriation. What happens when somebody comes in and tries to adopt a culture that they know little or nothing about and does it really badly. But one of the great things about having a few years is that you get a chance to do some redos. And one of the best ones is what we have with Voodoo Boys now. The Voodoo Boys in 2077 are really Voodoo Boys. They inherited the name, but it was sort of a natural fit. They were coming from Haiti and the Dominican Republic, and they were the real thing. And they managed to take a lot of the elements of their original culture and meld it into the world of 2077 and bring that cyberpunk vibe into a very old and respected culture. So they're a gang, but they're not really. They're more of a cultural phenomenon. They're more a way of cultural exploration. And I think it's really cool because it shows us a side of the cyberpunk future that we normally wouldn't see. On the other hand, they're the animals. Way back in my dark, dank past, I used to lift. Don't anymore, but I used to. And I would see guys like the animals in the gym I went to. Guys who live to get strong, and get really strong, and get really strong. The animals are like those guys. They're in it to basically build themselves up, become the tigers of their particular urban jungle. They want to be big, they want to be bad, and they want you to fear them just because they exist. And, you know, it's really easy to fear a guy who blots out the sun when he walks by you. But the animals are very simple. They have an ethos: get big, lift, get strong, lift. So unlike the Voodoo Boys, who have a culture, the animals have a thing. And contrasting that is interesting, because in 2077, you get a chance to see that not every gang is the same as every other gang, and what motivates them depends on the people you meet on the street. Check it out. As Mike Pondsmith saying, I'm still here to kill your cyberpunk character.
We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into Cyberpunk 2077. Now don't forget, you can join us on Twitter, Facebook, forums, and even join us on Discord to make sure you stay up to date on all of our news. Cyberpunk 2077 is launching April 16th, 2020, and is available for pre-order now. On behalf of everybody working on Cyberpunk and here at CD Projekt Red, we thank you for watching, your ongoing support, and we can't wait for you to explore Night City.
Huh. Yeah. Oh boy. I was getting kind of bored with it, but I thought we was supposed to have damn it, what's his name? You know, Keanu Reeves as supposed to be on the movie scene. Damn, fucking pain ass. Even right now, I just feel like falling asleep. I'm not gonna lie. God. If Keanu Reeves is not in there, I even want to sort of watch the whole thing. But I bet he was in there. It was one of the more boringest game called things ever, except those scenes. But anything else? I'm not really interested in it. I'm not really interested. Don't have the black guy from the what's his name, the breast commercial from Crackdown. I thought we were gonna have him on there. You put him on Crackdown, I might pre-order. But I'm gonna pass on this because there are other more games out there, and I don't know what to get. I even know myself. People say, what do you want more hype for, this or Death Stranding? I don't know. They're both kind of niche. I don't really know what's hyper. If it's piss, if it's using piss, or a cyberpunk situation here, I don't know which was hype. No, hyper performance in remake. Marvel and Cyberpunk, Fallen State remake. Supposed to stick together. Oh boy. I'm just not like how Marvel's doing. They have more stream, I don't know, I just don't know. I don't know about this game. I don't know about this game. This game is just Keanu Reeves doesn't look great in that game. Was Keanu Reeves in that game? I don't even see Keanu Reeves. I fell asleep, so I don't know, but is he in there? He's not in that game, is he? Let me hold it back. Can't well, I'm back, but I really don't think Keanu Reeves was in there. Was he in there? Oh God. Try to look so much your stream see Keanu Reeves. Yeah, if Keanu Reeves is not storyline, that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Like, really gonna piss a lot of people off. But is that how he sounds? Trying to find something. Oh boy. My video don't work now, but there we go. Is he in that trailer? Wasn't he supposed to be in there? Okay. What kind of phone I put in there? Oh. I don't know. Keanu Reeves was a character. Cyberdeck to reach access points. Access points. I don't know. I wish Keanu Reeves was in here. This game. When is Keanu Reeves in a cyberpunk kind of way? You see him doing things like it's supposed to be a movie scene. Oh man, I'm not getting the memo.
How many people in our audience have actually gone to an Elvis concert? I haven't. So I think we've created a really interesting design that integrates cyberpunk in a modern way. And you don't have to have watched Blade Runner 800 times, even though I have, I recommend you do. So basically, I think that what you'll find is if you really are curious about what makes up the background of the video game you're seeing, or you want to see how the genre works in a game that you can play, you should check it out.
Well, you know, if you put it on. Well, put a bet 04. The Ravens are, I don't know, Ravens or something.
Hey, my man.
Why?
You going all over the news? Are you alone? I just want the money. You got the chip? Alrighty, start her up, man. Why don't you go to the bathroom? Wash up. We gonna be with you in a minute. Oh, come on, man. Just that. It's a mess.
Oh no. Everybody keep going. Like this. Oh no. Remember my thing last time. Remember how we called that? Oh yeah. Put that shit out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Alright, in and out.
Come on, whatever.
We're rich. Oh, we're
Yes, that
going
was
to the
fake.
major leagues,
See,
Jerry.
tell me something. When I met the little wee thing, it's like it's fucked up. Get the shit out of here.
Get to a clinic now.
Mr. Wells' condition is critical. Immediate medical help is required.
Just hold on. Hey, just think about all the good that we're gonna have, huh? I'm sorry.
Take the shit, Dex.
Every corporal cop in this city is gonna be blasting down these doors after what you and your psycho friend did. We didn't need all this tension, damn it.
Wake the up, samurai. We have a city to burn.
He's welcome. Keanu Reeves.
How's it going? Hello, Los Angeles. Yeah. All right. Good to see you. Thank you. All right. I gotta talk to you about something. CD Projekt Red. Cyberpunk 2077. Alright. A while back, the guys from CD Projekt Red approached me and asked me to be a part of their new project, Cyberpunk 2077.
They were going on and on about how they'd create this vast open world with a branching storyline, how you'd be able to customize your character through in-game choices. And it's not something I knew before, but I was excited by. And I'm always drawn to fascinating stories. Cyberpunk is set in a metropolis of the future, where body modification has become an obsession. You play as an outlaw, an enhanced mercenary working in the sleazy underbelly of the city. Yeah. Okay, but let me tell you, the feeling of being there, of walking the streets of the future, is really going to be breathtaking. You're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking. All right. So, I gotta finish this. So tell me, do you guys want to know when the release date? Yeah. All right. Then check this out. Ready now?
Whoa, wait, easy. Mr. Hanson, am I right for the job? Okay, you have gone through to the other side. Let's do this.
Playing a rebel, a guy who, was in the ex-military, who started a rock band called Samurai, protest music. It sounded like fun.
Wake the up, Samurai. We have a city to burn.
I met with CD Projekt Red in July of last year, 2018, here in Los Angeles, and they showed me a short demo and introduced me to the idea of playing the character Johnny Silverhand. And so they walked me through the concept of the game and some of the elements and the biography of the character, and it sounded great to me, I'm not a Johnny Silverhand lore expert. At the original time, I read a little bit, but for them, they weren't. They were like, be here now. Like, this is what we're doing. So, maybe I need to brush up on that, but I don't know how much I'm at liberty to say. I think it's okay to say that there was a moment of maybe death. But I'm still around.
That's what I'm talking about! Alright, in and out!
They're letting me collaborate a little bit with just the tone and how would your version of Johnny say it, and move. So going through the whole mocap was really great to be able to give a physical embodiment to the character, and really personalize it. So that it was part of the attraction for me was that I was actually not only just my face, but they were asking me to perform a role, and a cool one. So, and I really love the format of the game and some of the questions it asks and what's revealed and what it demands of the player.
Let me see.
There's some interesting choices that have to get made.
I was when I fell asleep on.
For me, the technology of motion capture has gone a little quicker. It's a little, sometimes it's a little, like when I first did face capture, I think it was like an array of cameras, and it was like in a blacked out, like in a tent, and it was like, it was a huge deal that there were 5 terabytes. They had 5 terabytes available to do this capture, and it was like almost like it felt like some like black ops thing. Like, okay, this is super secret hardware doing super Johnny's gonna be blasting down these doors after what you and your psycho friend did.
I've got a couple of people that I've worked with who have done voices in games.
Remember, he was a talk like parrot.
And I hadn't done that yet. For me, I was attracted to the storytelling, like the different versions. You know, it's kind of like not just choose your own end, but choose your own path in a weird way. I thought that was cool because there's so many multiple player games, and you can play all over the world. This one's kind of like your own private, almost cinematic experience. Even reading, it's almost like literature in a way, right? Like you're participating in this open world, but it's your story, your choices. My character, Johnny, interacts with the role player, whoever's playing. The character's name is V in the game. And so I interact with whoever's playing that, and I'm part of their journey. But they're also a part of mine. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
I was going to sleep. I was sleeping.
We all have to wait until next April to properly dive into the world of Cyberpunk 2077. But in the meantime, here is the next best thing. A guided tour of the latest E3 trailer from one of the people making the game. I'm joined right now by Pavel Sasko from CD Projekt Red. He is the lead quest designer. And then there's Tom Marks, who got to see the demo at E3, which I haven't seen yet because I've been sitting on this stage. Now we have this whole trailer here, which is very cool. There's obviously a lot to unpack. You make very dense, kind of intricate trailers, and I figured you could kind of show us through it and point out some stuff we might.
I'd love to. I mean, there's so much stuff to unpack, so we can get right through it. I mean, I can talk about it about 4 hours, so let's just unleash me.
So, all right. So I think we should have this any second. Here we go. We are in Night City. Can you tell us a bit about sort of the different districts of Night City?
Oh man, so in the game we have 8 different districts, and player will be able to visit all of them. They're completely different. Like there are districts like you could have seen in the previous demo Watson, which is like almost the poorest district in the whole city. But there is, for instance, the Corpo Plaza. That's the district where the nuke struck in 2020. So this is Mike Pondsmith, who's to be blamed for that. And that part has been rebuilt like greatly. And there are like those gigantic buildings, created by corporations. Those are like sculptures, showing their power almost, and you have an absolutely different atmosphere there than in Watson, for instance, right? In the demo that Tom has shown, you can see another one, right? That was Pacifica.
Yeah, we saw Pacifica in the gameplay demo that almost felt like a really run-down boardwalk area. From obviously very futuristic, and there was like a ruined Ferris wheel, and it was pretty crazy.
Okay, so what's up with the No-Tell Motel? Tell me about the significance.
Oh yeah, I mean, No-Tell Motel is a very specific place. So in the world of Cyberpunk, if you want to have a shady deal, you go to the place where nobody can spot you. And basically, this is a place that is run by AI, and there's no humans who are running this place, so pretty much nobody knows that you're there. And No-Tell Motel is a place where people are making deals, and they're scheduling meetings there together to discuss things and so on. And our main character V has a scheduled meeting there with X. Well, schedule is maybe a big word. He's supposed to show up there and tell them what has happened regarding the deal.
Okay, and so V and Dex are having this deal here. We saw Dex previously. Can we talk about this guy? Is this his bodyguard?
Yeah, this is one of the bodyguards. He's heavily augmented. You can see basically the cyberware that he has in his neck. It's a reflex booster and also something that strengthens his core of his spine.
Okay, I like that. The cyberpunk sort of technology does a really good job of kind of supporting a lot of video game systems we've gotten very used to.
Yeah. We always make sure that everything is ingrained. So as in the previous demo, we have shown that when you had Kiroshi optics installed, you get the scanner, then you get the weapon grip installed, you get the weapon counter. So all of that is always we try to find the spots and places.
Now here we've got V has this chip.
Oh yeah. So the chip is extremely important for the main story. So I need to be careful not to spoil absolutely the most important parts of the game. But the chip is something that that the V has been sent for to brought in for Dex, and it didn't really work out the way it should be, right? Something happened, and this is very experimental technology. And the chip actually was a big part of, and again, I won't
shit.
spoil anything either, but it was a big part of the demo we saw. So this trailer is actually basically just a cutscene that comes pretty much before what we play, or not played, but saw. So actually in the game, this is a part of the game. Like in the game, you will be actually able to play the quest that tells this story that I was just watching. Like this trailer is a third-person perspective trailer of that quest that you'll be able to play. Gotcha. So it's not an exact cutscene.
I was gonna ask sort of, comparatively, you guys showed off the Killing Monsters trailer for Witcher 3 a while back, which was sort of, it was a very, very polished kind of representation of one of those quests. Would you say this is sort of a similar situation?
Yes, it is a similar situation, but this one is way closer because it tells the story from the game, an actual one, a very important one. Oh, and right now we have on the shot Delamain. Delamain is a corporate, is a car, pretty much. He's an AI that runs basically taxis in a night city, and you can get the Delamain taxi, and this is a car that can enter a combat mode. So basically, if you want to do something that you will need a protection against the firepower, you get Delamain. He arrives there, and you sign up the contract with him, and he's ought to protect you, right? And here in the trailer, he says that Jackie is in a critical state, and he requires instant assistance, instant medical assistance, right? And you can see, and the relationship between you and Delamain is also developed in the game way more.
So
and
he's like a self-driving Uber tank that is your friend.
Exactly.
I'm into
exactly what it is.
Right on.
Right on.
So right out here, obviously everything goes sideways. How does the combat choreography sort of, how does that compare to how it is in the game?
Oh man, I mean, so it's super interesting. So for the combat here, we are using the company of the stuntman that we've been using since Witcher 1. It's Maciej Kwiatkowski, the guy who did all the animations for Geralt. So he's V here. And this guy is amazing. He can fight with fucking everything, like that you can come up with, literally. And we've been making sure that all that the choreography is set up in a way that this big guy, the Dex's bodyguard, is like breaking up the blade in a way that there's no physical way for V to protect himself, right? You can see the gorilla arms that the guy has installed. This is also something that we've shown in the demo this year. And yeah, you can see that at the moment when the gorilla arms.
If you were to fight a cyborg with actual knife hands, this would be like a good way to actually go about it.
Perfect.
This is a realistic representation. And this is, it gets very sad here.
Exactly.
We got a shot here after all this. We got a shot of Dex's assistant behind that box there. What's up with her?
Yeah, so she's T-Buck. She's one of our supporters, and well, I mean, it turns out that she was not entirely having our back. And what she does here, she presents one of the skills of the Netrunner, and she's hacking us. The thing is that she has access to our network because before we've been hooked up. It's the quest will play up in the game, so you'll find out why and what happened. But basically, we were together in one network, and she is able now access our network and start hacking our cyberware. And she starts, as you see, like she basically forces these mantis blades to like collapse, and go back. But of course, these manages to shoot her.
Okay, so finally, the big reveal, in addition to a release date and a kick-ass video game, was that you put Keanu Reeves in it. And he's playing Johnny Silverhand.
Yes. Johnny Silverhand is a frontman of a samurai band. It's like an iconic chrome rock band from 2020. And
he's a literal, like a cyberpunk rocker, basically.
Exactly. He's presenting a class of a rocker boy in the game. And Johnny Silverhand is an extremely important character in the game. He's like a primary character. Tom already saw the way he's like sort of utilized in the game, what his role is. But it starts off very early in the game, and it's developed throughout the whole game. And depending on your choices and what you do and so on, you will forge your relationship with him. And thing is, he's not always a nice guy. He has his own agenda, and you will have to be on board for it.
You're telling me that Keanu Reeves is not always a nice guy? I don't know how realistic this game is. It's cyberpunk. This seems, I don't know. You guys obviously watch Johnny Mnemonic, though. You've got somebody with a chip in his head, and Keanu Reeves is running around.
Exactly.
I'm into it. I have one final question. The original Cyberpunk pen and paper game, first edition, is called 2013. That is the year that you revealed that first trailer. Cyberpunk second edition is called Cyberpunk 2020. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out in 2020. Have you guys known you were launching in 2020 for this long? Was that intentional? Did you do that? Was that?
Well, we do most of the things intentional. I would say like that.
Oh man, well, it's a great mystery. Cyberpunk 2077 is coming to PC PC, Xbox One, and PS4 on March 16th, 2020. Finally!
Hey everybody, Max Scoville and Tom Marks here at E3 2019. Cyberpunk 2077 is without question one of the biggest games of the year. I am dying to play it. It has a release date, and you little punk, got to see it behind closed doors.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
I saw about 50 more minutes of it in the behind closed doors demo that they showed off this year. It was extremely similar in structure to last year's demo, which they released the footage of after Gamescom, I believe, but completely new footage. So this one was actually from the middle of the game, and I think the first thing I want to talk about is Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand, is like kind of basically Cyberpunk's Cortana. He's just this AI, not AI, it's like a ghost of a human consciousness that's in your head, and so he's talking to you throughout the game, and as far as I understand, no one else can see him or talk to him.
Okay, that's extremely Neuromancer, and I'm pretty into it.
And he'll pop up occasionally, like if you're talking to somebody else, he'll like be behind them just chilling.
But Keanu Reeves is basically throughout the entire game?
I don't think you meet him immediately, but I talked to one of the developers at CD Projekt Red, and they said he is a significant part of the game, and he's kind of, that's how he's with you.
He's not just a marketing stunt.
No, I don't think so. I think he's basically like the little voice that goes with you on missions.
That makes me very happy to hear. Now, what about the structure of the mission you saw? Like, tell me a little bit about the gameplay.
So the structure was, and we're getting into like minor spoilers here, but it's just what they showed in the demo. They had to go meet up with a gang called the Voodoo Boys, I believe they were called, and they're basically a group of like hacker netrunners, and you have a chip in your brain that you don't like, was put there unwillingly, and you're trying to find out information about it, so you're trying to track down, I believe, the head of the Voodoo Boys to then tell you about this chip, but to find her, you have to break into this mall facility for them that's taken over by another gang called the Animals, and then you find out that the animals are actually being fed really good tech from these other people, and the animals are basically like roid juicers, like they're these crazy hulked out dudes. Yeah.
God, I'm so excited about this game.
Yeah, and then the mission itself went through stealthily, but they did this really cool thing where we went through the entire thing as like a netrunner hacker stealthily, and then they stopped and they were like, okay, we're gonna jump back as a strength character, and then they went through that same section as a strength character, where instead of like hacking a door to get through it, they would like rip it open. And at one point, instead of hacking a turret to like fight for you, they just ripped it off the base and used it as a gun.
That rules. I'm getting some sort of Deus Ex vibes here, because I remember when they were promoting, Human Revolution, the first new one, right? Kind of the same thing, where it's like, you can play loud or quiet, whichever you want. But I feel like in this case, it's being also a game where you create your own character. They're really just kind of demonstrating how much choice there is.
Yeah, and there is, for those of you wondering, there is a hacking minigame. There is a hacking minigame.
How does it look?
Not bad, but it's hard to tell when you're not actually doing it. It's not like
a Bioshock slime puzzle or anything.
No, it's not a line puzzle. It's like a grid of what looks like hex code, like, you know, like a letter and a number, and you have to like pick out the right ones. But it was kind of unclear how to do it.
So they're a little more like Fallout hacking type.
Yeah, and if you do well enough, like if you just do the baseline, it'll like let you access whatever network you're trying to access. But then you have these like optional objectives where if you like do even better, you can like get a little more bonuses beyond that.
Interesting. Now, one thing I noticed in the sort of trailer they showed off, they had they demonstrated that V has like some hands.
Yeah.
I feel like that's sort of a nice kind of counterbalance to the amount of gunplay we saw in the last demo. Did they show anything off like that? Was it more an emphasis on melee, maybe for the stealth stuff, or?
There was this really cool thing called the mono wire, which was basically like he was holding it kind of like a laser garrote, right? And he would like whip it at people and like arms would fly off.
When's the last time you watched Johnny Mnemonic, dude?
A long time ago.
Okay, you should probably go watch Johnny Mnemonic, because it's about Keanu Reeves having a chip in his head that he doesn't want there, and he fights a guy who has a garrote wire made out of lasers. So there you go. Yeah, everybody go home and read some William Gibson, please. Watch Johnny Mnemonic.
That will also let you hack from afar, so if you whip it into somebody, you can like you saw in the last gameplay demo they did, you can like jump on someone's head with a missile actually from afar. We also saw a fight where this guy tried to melee somebody well, and it like didn't go right, and so he like put up a broken bottle and was just like slicing it with it. There was also a boss fight at the end of this encounter where it was like this person who just had this huge hammer, and they had a weak point on their back where it was like what was feeding them their like roid juice, and so you had to like dodge around their hammer and then like shoot that point, and once that was broken, they couldn't pick up the hammer anymore, so they had to like fight you a different way, and this was a really cool moment if I may. At that point, the person grabbed you and grappled you, and the person, the demo guy was like, so the enemy's hacking you right now, and person who's
cyberpunk
helping you on the other end, who's the guy, the voodoo guy you were trying to like work with, is like defending the hack. And a bar filled up on the top of the screen, and they were like, if that bar fills up and they hack you, you're gonna die. So you have to finish this fight before the hack is done. And like, it just had a lot of weird, cool things like that.
So obviously a lot of people were really impressed by the demo last year, but there's still that level of like, I don't know if this is a video game yet. I don't quite believe it. Did you feel like this was more grounded, more like a playable kind of?
My ultimate takeaway from this demo was it was not nearly as blow me away exciting as last year. It wasn't like oh my god, this is
Last year was a complete surprise.
Exactly. This wasn't knocking my socks off or anything, but it did 100%. It just felt like an actual game now. It felt like, okay, I can see how I will play this, and I can see how I go through this world, and I understand how I take quests, I understand how I go to stores and buy things. Like, they showed off a little bit of that. It felt more tangible than it did last year.
Now, a lot of people pointed out the graphics in the demo last year were just like unrealistically impressive. I know people have concerns about sort of this getting downgraded. Do you see this looking this good when it comes out on current gen hardware?
Yeah, I'm sure that they will be tuning some things down, right? Because vertical slices are vertical slices, but what they showed looked really, really good. Like, it just still did. The lighting is really nice. There was a nice, like, sunset at one point with the day-night cycle. They said there's no loading screens unless you use fast travel, so you're just, like, they got on a motorcycle and just, like, driving through the city, and it was, like, pretty cool. I will say, the driving did not look impressive. Like, the motorcycle driving was very arcadey and stiff.
There was a motorcycle.
There was a motorcycle. The motorcycle was the red motorcycle.
Now,
Bro.